Once upon a time, I had a big office, a big salary, and a really big title. I was the only female senior vice president, creative director at one of the largest advertising agencies in Los Angeles, creating award-winning, gazillion-dollar multimedia campaigns for brands like Honda and Acura. I started my career like Peggy in Mad Men as a copywriter, and I worked my way up the corporate ladder to become more like Don Draper, but without the martinis or the cigarettes. And unlike Don, I was a middle-aged woman in a young man's industry. I had a little boy at home, parents with financial and health problems, and my beloved soulmate husband, Will, who's over there, who's an entrepreneur. And in case you don't know, that's French for no health plan. Yeah. So you can imagine how shocked and shaken I was when the company that I worked for over 12 years, who loved and adored me and called me family, laid me off without warning right after my 50th birthday. Coincidence? I don't think so. They said it was cutbacks, but it sure felt like ageism and sexism to me. But whatever you call it, I was devastated. I spent days sobbing in my backyard, stuck in the muck of worry, fear, and now what? I didn't know who I was without that job, and I certainly didn't know what I would do next. Advertising is a youth-obsessed industry, and in those days particularly, 50 was like ancient. There were very few women in positions like mine, and even fewer positions available. So I spent a lot of time crying. On one particularly uncomfortable day, I said a prayer to the universe. I said, "Am I too old to reinvent myself? Please give me a sign." I went for a walk with my dog Lucky, and when we got home, I had a sign all right, but I had no idea what it meant. There in my backyard in Westwood, California, without a pool, without a pond, without a stream, there were hundreds of red dragonflies whirling and twirling over our outdoor umbrella like some kind of crazy dragonfly ballet. I'd never seen anything like it. I didn't know that dragonflies came in reddish orange. I didn't know they traveled in mass. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I felt like a little girl seeing a merry-go-round for the first time. The energy was so uplifting and so joyful. And the crazy thing is, those dragonflies stayed for 4 hours the first day and came back the next day and the next day and the next day. I could not figure out what was going on. So, of course, I consulted with a higher authority, Google. And when I did, I discovered something I'd never heard before. Did you know that dragonflies spend most of their lives crawling in the muck at the bottom of a pond? They're down there for up to 4 years. They have no wings. They have no colors. They're just this generic brown, creepy, crawly insect down there. And what's so amazing is they keep shedding old versions of themselves and growing new versions over and over and over, up to 15 times. I'm like dragonfly obsessed, excuse me. But anyway, one seemingly random day, the dragonfly crawls out of the muck and into the sunlight. And there, her wings unfurl. Her magical wings were growing the whole time she was in the muck, kind of like some of us. And when I realized that dragonflies don't grow their wings until later in life, that wasn't just an aha moment. That was an aha orgasm. My mind exploded to think that those dragonflies flew into my life to say, "You're not too old. It's not too late. You're one of us. And it's never too late to soar. Well, you would think that was pretty magical, right? But that was just the beginning. Everywhere I went in Los Angeles, there were dragonflies. I'm not kidding. They flew across my windshield on the 10, the 101, and the 405 freeway. They cruised down Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset Boulevard right next to my car. One day, I was in Beverly Hills going to the dentist. I'm walking down Beverly Drive, and there, right in front of me, is another big, fat, red dragonfly. What was it doing, going to Rodeo Drive for a little shopping? I couldn't believe it. I've never seen anything like it. And those dragonflies just lifted me up every time I saw them. But the dragonfly coup de grace took place when my husband and I were in Ojai, California, at the Ojai Valley Inn. It was our anniversary. And I don't know if you know Ojai, but it's this magical little valley between Los Angeles and Santa Barbara. And we live there now. We love it so much. But we were on vacation, walking across the grass, going to lunch, and I couldn't believe my eyes. Right there in front of me was this huge, majestic oak tree with another swarm of red dragonflies. So I looked at Will, and I said something I say a lot. I know this sounds crazy. And he rolled his eyes, as he often does. I said, I think those dragonflies are trying to recruit me. I think they know I'm a writer and a brand storyteller, and they want me to get their story out into the world. And God damn it, I'm going to do it. So I decided this was some kind of sacred assignment, and I was accepting it. I was going to help women rise up from the muck of old limiting beliefs into the magic of new possibilities. And I'd like to tell you that my mission took flight right then and there, and everything went great. But I found myself stuck in some more muck. Something that I call the age cage. And some of you are probably familiar with all those ageist thoughts, conditioned assumptions, old belief systems that exist in our culture and in our heads, internalized ageism. And I became very aware of this voice in my head. I called the bitch Edna. And she's my inner critic and my inner ageist. And she's always telling me, you're too old, you're too wrinkled, you should retire, you should fade into the background, sit on a rocking chair. What do you think you're doing? Who do you think you are? Blah, 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 blah. So I realized, like the dragonfly, I had a lot of shedding to do. So one by one, little by little, I started to let go of those old stories and to grow something new. I created what I call breaking out of the age cage workshops and illustrated talks using my paintings to help other women change their relationship to aging. And I really took the dragonfly's message about how it's never too late to soar. I took it to heart. And I had my first book published. It's called From Muck to Magic. And my first solo art show mounted at 65. And now, thank you. That sounds very young now. And now, at the ripe young age of 72, I'm launching my second book, which is called The Way of the Dragonfly, Flight Instructions to Transform the Way We Age. It's a guide to growing new wings in midlife and beyond, available for pre-order. And after decades of branding, I'm now on a mission to rebrand aging as a process of becoming more of who we are, not less of what we were. Thank you. Thank you. And like my life coach, the dragonfly, I'm here to remind you it's never too late. It's never too late to dare, to dream, to express, to explore, to reinvent, to reconnect, to take a stand, to take a class, to take a trip, to take a chance. It's never too late to spread our wings and soar. Thank you.